Dean Eller, President and CEO, Central California Blood Center. Most blood centers across the country, us included, have anywhere from a half a day supply to usually a maximum of 3 days supply of blood at any given time. It takes at least 48 hours to test the blood and get it ready for the hospital. So you can see that on any given day, we have to meet our goals to collect the blood that we need, or there's going to be a problem. And it's our responsibility to make sure that it's collected, tested, into the hospitals and ready to go when you have an emergency.
Leslie Botos, Central California Blood Center Director of Community Relations. Every single donor who comes in the door must feel that they're being loved in the door and back out again. We know that donors are giving not only their blood, but their time. When one gives blood, they give their time, they give their commitment, they give their really caring about the public health of our community. We have to remember that blood goes from a donor to a patient, and that patient has a great chance of living because of them.
I'm Steve Negin, and I'm the Technical Director for the laboratory at Central California Blood Center. Everything is brought back here, whether it's one of our other fixed sites in Fresno or Visalia, or when we go out on mobiles to businesses or schools or churches. Everything's brought back to this location for processing, and then after all the processing is completed, it's distributed from here as well. Once it comes back to the laboratory, the blood is manufactured into the various products that we need. If you look at all the different products, we make about 50 different products routinely from either blood or platelet collections. We separate the plasma from the red cells. We make the various red cell products, the various plasma products. That's half of it. The other half is we have to test the donation to make sure that it's disease-free. And we test for those things that can be transmitted through blood transfusion. We're going to test for the virus that causes AIDS, for example. We tested for hepatitis B, hepatitis C. We also test for syphilis, because that can be transmitted through blood transfusion. We also tested for Chagas disease, West Nile virus. We also test for the antibodies that can cause transfusion reactions when blood is given to a recipient if it isn't compatible. And then, of course, we do a blood type on every donation as well. Make sure that it's disease-free before being sent off to the hospitals. We test using very highly automated systems. We have to follow what's called good manufacturing practices. We're actually looked at by the inspecting agencies as a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant. So we have to make sure that everything is done in the correct way every time. Well, the red cells are good for 42 days from donation. The plasma, when it's frozen, is good for 1 year from donation. Platelets have the shorter shelf life. They're only good for 5 days from the date of collection.
Now, blood centers have contracts and agreements with hospitals that fall within their area of service. And we will hear from the laboratory or the blood bank. We'll get a call from a representative of the hospital. There are standing orders of what they know they're going to or anticipate they're going to need over a period of time. And then there are the emergency orders, or those that are unexpected. When we get those calls, we immediately deliver that blood product to the hospital.
Blood is used in more than just traumas, more than just the emergency room, more than just accidents. Blood is used in heart surgeries, cancer patients, breast cancer, leukemias, any kind of cancers that you can think of. In 1992, my then 18-year-old daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. And at that point in time, she was using hundreds of units of blood. Blood donors were keeping her alive, literally keeping her alive each day. Her body didn't make blood, and she had to have 2 to 3 transfusions each and every week just to make it into the next week. If they're thinking about donating or have not thought about donating and didn't think of it that it was very important, I would say, please think again, because blood can only come from someone like them. A life can only be saved because a caring individual who believes in their community and wants to help their fellow man, that's the only person that can save that person's life.